Welcome to Good Dates Gone Bad. I'm your host, Lee, and this is my guest, Rodney.
Oh, I tell you, no respect.
And thanks for joining us. We're going to share with you one of his deal breaker dating stories, and then he's also going to read from one of my books. So, you might have already seen in the last video some description of where these stories came from. So you'll hear a little bit more as we go along. So, Rodney, what is a good date to you?
A good date is, obviously you want to have a connection. You want her to open the door for, no, I'm just kidding. No, but you definitely want to have
She can open the door.
But you want to have a good connection. You want to have some laughter. You want to have some natural chemistry. So, and of course you want to be attracted.
Sure.
But
like on a date that's going well, what's going well other than the conversation? Like, what do you think, what is an expectation of the date?
I
dare ask the question.
Well, as far as after or just enjoying the dinner, and, I've never really been one of the guys that are thinking, I want to take this girl home,
That's good.
Not to her home anyway, I'm kidding. So, but again, just having a good connection, and while I'm during that first date, and you're thinking, I could probably see this person again.
Sure.
And I won't head to the bathroom when the check comes.
That's right. At least not on that date.
No,
So what about a bad date? I mean, what's a bad date to you? And then you can give me an example.
Well, there are different types of bad. There's a date where there's bitchy, or there's dates. But a bad date is just someone who you aren't connecting with from the get-go. You show up to a restaurant even though there's a reservation made, but they're backed up and, yelling because the table's not ready or whatever.
Sure.
And
just awkward moments.
So it's kind of like, that's like already setting the tone.
That sounds like something that's happened to you.
Yeah, well, but it's again, it's the first date. So,
but that's not the worst that it could go. I mean, there's all kinds of really bad things that can happen on dates. Of course, that's why we're here. That's why I've written 2 books. I was going to actually put together a third, but I decided to use this, the video opportunity, as an opportunity for, instead of writing a third book, for everybody to tell me their story. So you have a story that you want to share. Tell me a little bit about that.
You were asking about, a date I may have had that wasn't great. And I always remember the date I had when I was about 19. And it was a blind date, and fitting, very fitting. And it was at Six Flags. So, of course, we're showing up there. And it was, hot and sunny, and everyone had sunglasses on.
And that's not a bad place to meet for a first date, because if things go wrong, you just hit the park and you just kind of get lost.
Yeah, or you get stuck in line with them for an hour and a half, and that's
not
brutal
good.
too.
It's brutal in the hot sun.
I'll be back. I want to go play the game where the ball's bigger than the rim. I don't care.
So what happened at Six Flags?
We were having a good time, and we were. The good news is it was during the week, so the lines weren't as bad actually. So a little hack there.
A little off season.
It was summer, not too off season, but it's during the week, so you're trying to trick people like Saturday's going to be busier, but
sure.
People are like, I ain't in school,
or work.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, we rode the Mind Bender, the Scream Machine, and the free fall, whatever it is, and log ride, all this, holding hands, whatever, throughout. I mean, she was a pretty girl, good looking, and then the sun starts to begin to fade, and everyone took off their glasses that they got from filling out an application for applying for a credit card.
Yes.
And no, she already had some sunglasses on, so that was good for her, actually.
Right.
And so we all kind of take our glasses off, and she was cross-eyed, and you know, and God bless her, you know, and it was like, and I was young.
And not to judge, but
no, but I was young.
it is awkward.
Well, I was like over here, you know,
Yeah.
and no, but it was, and I was like, you know what? Can you put those back on? No, I'm just kidding. But I was just like, I tried to be.
You're probably young and immature.
Yeah, but I wasn't like laughing and making fun. It just, but I liked her, and it was kind of, unfortunately, I was more superficial back then, and it was kind of a deal breaker at the time. And so when I say a bad date, she wasn't bad. You know, it didn't say, that's why I was saying earlier, is there's either a bad date because y'all just hated each other, and it was, you know, but this one was, hey, I kind of liked her, but, you know, that kind of happened, and I was like, you know, but I finished the night, and, you know. And,
gracefully said goodbye.
You know, but I think she understood.
That was just a deal breaker for you then. Yeah. Well, that's understandable.
And,
today we're older, we're more mature.
Well, I am older.
And, you know, we can appreciate other people's shortgings. And that wouldn't necessarily be a deal breaker today. There's far worse things that can happen on a date.
Of course.
So he's going to read a book. I'm going to read a story from the book.
They have doctors.
And it's called Knee Popper. That's right. You know, there are doctors that can fix some things. Some things they can't, though. So, but this is from Volume 1 again. The name of the story is Knee Popper, and it's a story. A man gave it to me. So,
before I go on, I don't know if you ever saw the movie The Jerk.
Yes, I saw The Jerk.
Remember the Opti grab when the thing that they pulled the glasses off. The guy from the gas station who owned he said, his glasses fell off. So Steve Martin invented this thing where you can pull it on and put it on. Yes. But then everyone was like looking cross-eyed, and he got sued. So that was always, I go, that was, some people don't get that reference, but me and my friend, I was young.
You would look at this thing right in the middle of your nose.
So again,
that's a terrible invention.
I am a better man now. I am.
Good.
And anyway.
You wouldn't be so shallow. Okay.
Nope.
Well, he's going to read Knee Popper.
So this is awesome. So first and foremost, this is awesome, Lee.
Thank you.
To read this.
Thank you.
So this is Knee Popper, a man's story.
Mm-hmm.
Not this man. Or is it?
Nope.
So a guy is introduced to a girl from a mutual friend and eventually asks her out to dinner. After a fine meal, they head to her house and begin sealing the deal. Hey, now.
Quick movements.
Man, I'm telling you. I mean, what did they eat? Who paid? Did they go Dutch? I mean, give me some deets.
I didn't get any details like that.
I'm kidding. You know.
Okay, go ahead.
His actions are more animated than she expected, as she tried desperately to keep her form and participation intact. I was like, you spelt from wrong, but then I was like, form. I'm like, can I get a thesaurus? I mean, is that how you spell it? So anyway, in participation intact, while he manhandled her for at least an hour. Suddenly, he flipped her over and began thrusting as hard as he could when he heard a blood-curdling scream. Oh my gosh, my knee. Her face turned white as she announced the dislocation of her knee.
Oh my God.
He looked down and nearly hurled as he realized what had happened. Her left knee had popped out of socket and was cocked. It was cocked even more to the left. That
would totally be a game changer. You'd have to stop.
I mean,
if your knee dislocates, you'd have to stop having sex.
He manhandled, flipped her.
I mean, he kind of did this.
He was thrusting. I mean, those are some great adjectives. But, I mean, come on. I see a little investigation. Sorry. So her left knee had popped out of the socket and was cocked even more to the left, and she lay paralyzed by pain. Holy shit! What do I do? I mean, do I call an ambulance or what? He panicked he said in a panicked tone as he quickly scanned the house for a telephone. He called the ambulance as soon as he spotted the phone in the kitchen, and the paramedics quickly arrived on the scene.
This is back in the day when they had,
I was about to say, yeah. So, yeah, it was like...
May not be
like,
a roll.
The 9...
May not be the
roll. 1...
It's probably a cordless.
Sorry, too
I'm
late.
pretty sure it's connected to a dial-up fax line.
Anyway, all the while he tried to calm her down, confirming he was still interested in her, but that this had freaked him out a bit. She understood and proceeded to explain to him that this happened before, but not on another date, and that it would be okay. He helped her get a sundress and underwear, gentlemen, on, get her a sundress and underwear on, so she would be covered before the ambulance arrived, and she was very grateful but incredibly embarrassed.
Oh my God, I would be so embarrassed.
Why? Maybe she didn't shave, you think?
No, I would be so embarrassed that my knee popped out in the middle of sex. Of course, I'd be a little annoyed of how aggressive he was being.
I was about to say, so
I felt like he was being a little...
Yeah, I hear you.
Bit much.
No don't mean mo.
And that's right. Exactly.
So the next day, he called up the best florist in town, ordering the biggest bouquet of flowers to be delivered to her home. She had to have her knee reset and a full leg cast set, and had taken the next day off. Shit, fucking next month off. As the week progressed, the two exchanged phone calls of how their lovemaking session had been so rudely interrupted by the unfortunate event of her knee popping out, and proceeded to plan a second run on the mountain.
Ooh, so that wasn't over. So it wasn't a deal breaker after all. It was just a very unfortunate happening on a date.
So she's being cool about it, and she was good.
They're actually going on another date, but guys, I would not manhandle your women. That's a bit, obviously he was a bit aggressive.
Like the flipping and the
thrusting. Flip around a little bit.
Although I will say,
not too
planning
much.
a second run, I'm not sure how that leg's going to hold up in a run, but maybe give it a second try.
Yes.
You know, and the night of gratuitous lovemaking would commence the upcoming Friday evening. Man, these people move fast. After he prepared dinner in her home and assumed consumption of a bottle of Merlot. Good sex. I mean, man, Merlot.
Hey, setting the tone.
Better than Merlot. And then good sex was possible with a woman with a full leg cast, although the unfortunate event never really left his mind.
So what's your take on that story?
So I'm visualizing trying to figure out the one leg, if someone had a cast, how that would work. Is it just how full, how full, like up to where?
Hip. Probably up to her hip. So here's the thing. Although it was not a complete disastrous dating story, it wasn't there wasn't a situation where they never went out again, but it definitely caused pause because he was being very aggressive. But you don't need to be so. I think he was too excited. I mean, I don't know.
She didn't really. It doesn't sound like she minded. She just was like, "Hey, sorry, my popped out knee caused." He may have made it sound like made it her fault.
Yeah. Well,
hey, why'd your knee ruin the date? But
sometimes it's nice to have a little lighter passion. No need to go animalistic on people, right?
I mean,
Well, thanks for being my guest today, Rodney.
I will, and thank you for having me. And I was going to say, had it have been me, I saw the Karate Kid.
That's right.
You pop that knee right back into place,
and then you just resume lovemaking.
I mean, again, that's just one of the many stories that you're just kind of like, how could it be? Right.
Well, stay tuned for more fun and dating stories that have gone wrong. Sometimes they go out again in this situation, but you'll be hearing from Rodney again.
Thank you
Cheers.
very much. Y'all have a good night.